Hi everyone, and welcome to the Target 23 Part 1 homework review. So as always, this Part 1 homework review goes with the Part 1 worksheet. So we'll go through 3 problems from that worksheet. Try to give you a little bit more guidance of the Part 1 skills in this Unit 8, and it deals with finding area and perimeter of triangles and rectangles. And so the problems we're going to work with on the Part 1 worksheet here are number 2, number 5, and number 10. And so let's just start. Because these problems, as you know, can take a little bit of time here. Obviously, there's a lot of parts to them. Notice even in problem number 2, right, it's asking us for 3 things. So first, identify the shape. Hopefully not so tough. This is a triangle. Now, finding the area is actually nice in this one too. Remember, area of a triangle, base times height divided by 2. And your base and your height always make 90-degree angles with each other. Well, look at this. A right triangle, 90-degree angle. And so our height, and I'll just call it h, has got to be the 6, and the 12 will be our base. Reason is, those are the two sides that, once again, right, make a 90-degree angle with each other. So those are our height and our base. And so finding the area, not a problem here. Our area will equal base, which is 12, times height, which is 6, divided by 2. And 12 times 6, I believe, is 72. 72 divided by 2, 36. So 36 inches squared for area, square units for area. So that's our area again. Now, for the third one, I'll change the color here. We want to find the perimeter, right? Find the perimeter. And so that means add up all the sides that we know. And so if I clear up this triangle a little bit to give us a little bit, better view, you'll see we know 2 of the sides of the triangle. Let's call this third side x because we don't know it. Obviously, we need to find it to be able to add all 3 sides together. And this will bring back a familiar skill for us. We have a right triangle. We know 2 sides of it. And so a squared plus b squared equals c squared will help us find x. Remember, c is always your hypotenuse, the longest side, across from the 90. And so our x is c. And so for us to figure out what that side is, we'll do 6 squared plus 12 squared, and that will equal x squared. And 6 squared plus 12 squared is going to be 180. And that's what x squared is. Remember, we want x, not x squared. So we will take the square root of both sides at this point. And the square root of 180 is roughly 13.4. And so x is 13.4. And so our perimeter in this problem would then be just add all 3 sides together. So the 6 side plus the 12 side plus our new one we found, 13.4, and that will equal 31.4 inches. And that is our perimeter. So perfect. Hope that helped. Just to remember, just kind of like the normal game plan, right? There are formulas for area. Perimeter is always just know all the sides and add them together. And generally in these problems, you don't know everything, right? And so remember, the trick to this unit is all of our old skills actually. Can you use sine, cosine, tangent to find a missing side? Can you use Pythagorean theorem to find a missing side? And various things like that, right? And then once you find the missing sides, what do we do with them? Now, let's keep that discussion going. So for number 5, the identify the shape part, hopefully that's no problem. This is a rectangle, right? This is a rectangle. Now, find the area. Let's do that. So remember, area of a rectangle equals base times height. Base times height. And so remember, the top and bottom of a rectangle are the same, and the left and right are the same. Remember, base times height always makes a 90-degree angle with each other. So we can call like the bottom the base and the left side the height. Now, we don't know any of those numbers, and so we have to find them both. The only thing we know is the length of this diagonal. And the length of the diagonal is 20 inches, right? But if you look at this piece, and I'll make it a little bit thicker, right? If we use that diagonal here, and then we connect our base and our height sides, forms a triangle. And we know a degree measure in this triangle. And every time we know a degree measure in the triangle and we have missing sides, generally we start to think sine, cosine, tangent, right? And so at this point in time, we want to work with this purple triangle, and we want to think of SO, CA, TOA, and we'll be able to find the H and the B. And so to be able to do that, we got to remember, pick our angle, and then label opposite, hypotenuse, and adjacent. And so if we want to find H, we need to use opposite and the number we know, which is hypotenuse. And so opposite and hypotenuse, that's O and H. So that's part of the SO part. So we can find H if we work with our tangent. So this, or tangent, I'm sorry, we can find H if we work with our sine, right? So sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So the sine of 30 will equal H over 20. And then we need to get H by itself, so we'll times both sides by 20, which is nice because that leaves us, once the 20s cancel out, with just H on the right side. And what we need to type into our calculator is 20 times the sine of 30. And so let's go to the calculator real quick. I'll give you a reminder of that. One thing, remember, double check if you're in degree mode or radian mode. Mode is right next to the blue button. If you click that, about 3 rows down, you'll see radian and degree. Right now, I've got degree highlighted, so that's perfect. If you have radian highlighted, scroll down, go over to degree, and hit enter on that. And then we can hit second quit. Once you're in degree mode, you're good to go. So we'll type in 20 times the sine of 30, and we will get, it's 10. Perfect. So H is 10. Now, we also need B. So let's talk about B, do it in a different color. B is going to work with the adjacent side and the hypotenuse. Adjacent and hypotenuse is the CA part. Cosine equals adjacent over hypotenuse. And so, let's do that work. Do it over here. I know I'm going way right. That's okay. So, cosine of 30 is going to equal adjacent over hypotenuse. So, B over 20. And then just like before, times both sides by 20. 20s will cancel on the right, and that'll leave us with our base. And we just have to type in 20 times the cosine of 30 to our calculator. When we do that, we should get roughly 17.3. 17.3. And so our base, 17.3, our height, 10. Now that we have them both, we can plug it into our area formula just by doing base times height, right? So area is going to equal our base, which is 17.3, times our height, which is 10. 17.3 times 10 is going to be 173. And if you weren't rounding, it'll be roughly 173.2 inches squared. And that is our area. Now, we are not done, right? We identified the shape as a rectangle. We know the area is 173.2 inches squared. And now we got to find the perimeter. Now, that won't be so bad because we've already done the work. Remember, H was 10. And so let's replace H with 10, right? This side now, I know this is 10. And in a rectangle, the left side and the right side are the same. The right side's 10. And then our B, which is our base, 17.3. So I'm going to replace our base with 17.3. And bottom and top are going to be the same in a rectangle. And so both are 17.3. And so our perimeter, just add all 4 of those together. 17.3 plus 10 plus another 17.3 plus another 10. And when we add all 4 of those together, we are going to get 54.6 inches for our perimeter. All right, it's been a lot of work. We got one problem left, about 5 minutes left of this video. Got to get it done in one video. So here we go. Area of a rectangle is 90 inches squared, and it tells us the height is 5. They want us to find the perimeter. Let's say we draw a rectangle, right? And they got 90-degree angles here. And I know my height is 5. I'm going to put that on the right side. Now, I don't know my base, right? But I do know that the equation area of a rectangle equals base times height. And I know my area, so I can plug in 90 for A, and I know my height, so I can plug in 5 for h, and I just solve for b, right? The area is 90. They tell us that. And that'll equal b, our base, times our height, which is 5. Now, b times 5, we can rewrite that as just 5b. So 90 equals 5b. And then our base is just what we get when we solve for b. So we'll divide both sides by 5, and we'll get that b equals 18, right? B equals 18. So that's what I can put there, and I'll actually do that, right? This equals 18. Now, the other thing I want to find the perimeter, so I need to add up all 4 sides, and the thing I should know about a rectangle is left side and right side are the same. So if 5 is on the right, left is 5. Bottom and top are the same, so if the bottom's 18, top is 18. And so finally our perimeter is 5 plus 18 plus another 5 plus 18. When I add all those together, I get 46, and then units are inches. So 46 inches as my perimeter. So thank you very much for doing this review, for getting a little bit more guidance here on tons of topics. As always, if you have questions, please reach out. We have Google Hangouts, we have email. I even gave you my Google Voice phone number. You can call and text me if you need to. Please let me know if I can help you. I'd love to help you. Otherwise, keep doing a great job. You're doing phenomenal. Keep it up. I'm really proud of you.